Final word.
The final word.
The
Down.
final word.
Ooh-wee,
Come on with it.
Man, come
Yo.
on with it. Let's go. Start the countdown. Let's go.
Come on.
Yeah, man. So, obviously, we won the game, but
The final word.
what's wrong, man? Did we win?
Man.
God, dog.
It felt like a loss, right?
Yeah, it does, man.
Yeah.
I think it's some good and bad in it, though, bro.
Hey, when you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud, too.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I think we just hungry, bro. I think the fans are just.
The final word.
I think we just hungry, bro. That's the only thing.
Man,
I think
hello.
I think we just so hungry for this championship.
Yup.
I think we getting in, keeping it all the way.
The final word. Then
So-
you got other things that's stirring up the pot. The final word.
Yeah, like the national media.
Yeah, the national media, and they stirring up the pot too.
Yeah. I just wish we could see through that, bro. I really do. I really wish we could see through that. Yeah. Don't share the video to Twitter yet. I gotta change the title, man. Something going wrong with my title.
The final word.
Okay.
The
I know I'm
final
talking
word.
to the people that they start sharing my stuff early.
The final word. The final word.
The
I
final
gotta
word.
change the title, y'all. Y'all give me a second.
The final
But yeah,
word.
man, I think you're right. I think it's the propaganda that's going
Yup.
on, bro. I think that's real.
And then we got to contextualize sensationalism is a real thing, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. They playing
The
us.
final word.
So, because I was looking at some of Kansas City losses. They lost to the Colts. You think they over
Right.
there? You think they over there? Oh, the sky's falling. Nah, they chilling, bro. They
The
chilling.
Bills lost to the Vikings, and then we blew them out. We blew the Vikings out. Not a word, you know.
Right, yeah. So we not making no excuses, but we also like, hey, man, we gonna
The
move on
final
from this.
word. And I get it. Validation is only good for parking.
Facts. All the way facts, big dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things. We go pull it together, Cowboy Nation. We
The
go pull it
final
together,
word.
man. Yes, we are. And Big Game James on his way. So is the
The
OC.
final
So we
word.
holding it down until they get here. Trust me, we already ready to go. We go
Yep.
get it. Yep.
Come on. Shout out
So-
to you, Rev, man. Appreciate you for the support. It says, let's go, Law Nation, with the $2 super chat. The final word.
That's
The
what's
final word.
up. Appreciate the super chat, big homie.
The
Showing love.
final
Always.
word.
We
The
appreciate
final
that.
word.
Always.
The final word.
So yeah, Law, I
final
saw you
word.
been bringing it, bro. I saw-
Man.
word.
I tried to, man. In my physical form, let it be known I'm troublesome, man. I'm troublesome.
You've been putting out some good content, bro. We all appreciate that. Real
Appreciate
talk. Real talk. All right, man, we finna kick it out, bro.
The final word.
There it is. It's looking real good up in here. Let's go. All right, here we go. It's a tunnel, baby.
Yeah. And we don't have tunnel vision. No.
Let's run it up.
Hey,
I just wanna run it up. Count check.
that's all I want to do. Run it
In the field, let up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Shout out to you, dog.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to ticket to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
It's on
Go ahead, Law.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Joseph.
Lately,
On the
I just
Facebook.
wanna run it up.
Sims. Everybody that's here, let's run it up, baby.
Let's run it up, man. Throw them flames in the chat. Let's go.
I need them fives, need them tens, I need that
Let's
change to
go,
the cent. Got
man.
blues
And I
inside.
see your life crazy. Aaron.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same.
He said, I wanna see the hoodie OC. He likely coming.
When I play, charge it
Bro,
to the
Train
game.
tripping.
I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now.
Calm down,
I'm
Train.
with
Let's
A,
get
yeah, I'm with
together.
J,
right, Cass and Cowboy, I see you. Bob, Richard, Keystone, Smitty, Rock, what's going on?
Let's go.
Queen, Chris,
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it.
I see you,
Search for
brother.
the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this.
It's
All
nothing
right,
real.
audio check. Yeah, somebody said they couldn't hear me.
Oh, they can't
But
hear
I feel that they can hear the nation. Come on.
me. Let's go. All right,
Yo.
man, it's Boss and Law. So, man, like, so Big Game James not here, so we go kick it off with you, Law, man. What's on your mind, big dog?
Well, man, we 10-3. I'm happy about the win, by the way. This is the first time since the 90s we made it back-to-back with double-digit wins. And, of course, I'm already declaring and decreeing that we go into the playoffs. So we made it there, man. Back-to-back playoff years, man.
Yeah.
This is glorious, man. I'm happy about this 10-3 start so far.
Yeah, man, it's yeah, I mean, and I think that's wise of you, man, to celebrate, small successes. I think all of us should, practice that, real talk, because it's been since 2007 since we had back-to-back 10-win plus seasons, man. That's a real good point. So,
Right.
I know people trying to act like the sky's falling, but obviously the sky is not falling. We got some good news coming. Obviously, we heard about Tyron Smith and all kind of stuff, man. But yeah, it's a lot of good going on. So I ain't tripping at all. Like, even over the Texas win, like, we won the game, but the spirit is like we lost the game. Man, come on. So anyway,
Now that we got that out the way, let's get this show on.
all right,
man.
let's get to the business, bro.
I
Let's get to
showed
the
you
business.
that.
So where you want to start? You want to start wrong?
Start off with these button hooks, man.
Man, let's go.
And curl routes and all of that, man. Shout out to Rome for pointing this out. And my thing is 4 freaking curl routes. What TF, you know what I'm saying, Kellen is doing. And y'all can already fill in what that means. So when I said that the Cowboys like to roll out these plays with Crayolas and crayons, however you want to say, and beyond, can you break down this, Boss Cowboy, why that this is such a bland approach to attack a doggone defense in the National Football League? Can you point that out, fam?
Yeah, what's going on? I think people looking at it like we running 4 hooks, but what's going on is those are option routes, and those are the results of option routes. Mm-hmm. So when you got these weapons trying to find those soft spots in the zone, sometimes it's gonna look like by design they ran hooks. That's why Okoye also talked about this last year. Like, what's going on with the route design? And what's going on is they finding those holes in the zone, and it looks very elementary. Now, it's one thing that when it works well, but when the disguises are good from the defense, it doesn't work well, and it can really, really cause a lot of problems. So, on a snapshot like what we looking at from the big homie Rome from Cowboy Fans Talk, it's a bad look, and we do look very elementary. We do. Now, I also want to balance it out and say, when the option routes work well, it's a very good thing, because it allows your scheme to have a almost guaranteed hole in the zone that makes it almost impossible for a defense to adjust. But the look is bad. And this is the other part.
Break it down, Chief.
Defenses has figured it out. I'm certain on that. They figured us out. Our passing game, that's why our passing game don't work no more. It doesn't work. You ever notice that whenever Kellen Moore gets pass happy, points stop?
It does. And when teams they play so much quarters in cover 2 defense, whereas we will embrace the fact that you're passing, because what we can do is bank on the fact that your quarterback got to read through all of this mess, and on top of that, with option routes, these are not timing routes, whereas they got to get a vibe in the field, and if these DBs is on the opposing side don't sink down into their zone, what you think that may be a sink hook, it can be all dismissed because it could be cover 1, right? It can be disguised to be that, and you thinking that you throwing into cover 2, and no, it's cover 1, or vice versa. So I look at this, and then when we have, I like what Brian Broaders bring to the table. But he was on a show. I forgot the name of the show, but it was on the Cowboys.com. And he said, well, the interceptions were primarily on Dak Prescott. But when I've learned that I know you was told this too, if the ball hit the hands of the receiver, that's on the receiver at that point. The Cowboys quarterback distribute the ball to the receiver, and it bounces off their hand. Let me know. Let me know how you break that down. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Boss Cowboy?
Yeah. Another thing with what you're saying is it's not just Dak that's could be tricked from disguises. Mm-hmm. The person that's likely go get tricked faster than anybody is the weapons. So when you trying to run aggressive option routes with weapons that's not used to reading the defense, who is likely gonna make the mistake? The weapon or the quarterback that's been a quarterback for 7 years? The weapons.
The weapon. Okay.
So defenses has figured out that the key to stopping our passing game is those disguises. So, and to your point, that's an old school rule, right? Mm-hmm. That if the ball hits your hand, blame shifts immediately from the quarterback to the receiver. That's the standard from little league all the way to the pros. So it's just who go hold up the standard of receiver. Now, it was one thing that I tweeted too, man. I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Law. Because me and you know for a fact that 3 other interceptions that happened to Dak was because of the scheme of Kellen Moore with those option routes. One in Chicago, where CD Lamb didn't cross face, and he had to throw it with anticipation. 2 with Green Bay. So if we really looking at it, Dak got 9, but only should have 6. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, like you said, the extra pressure is on the quarterback. Those are his babies, regardless of how you look at it, right? Yeah. Those are the kids that he's going to have to raise up as it relates to the interceptions, regardless of how it happened. I slipped and I fell in it. Well, no, that's your child now. Yeah. And the Cowboys got to look at it that way. Unfortunately, the 4-letter, the 3-letter network will look at it that way. And somebody at some point got to sit Kellen Moore down. And I believe slowly Dak Prescott is getting tired of this. Ooh. And he leaked it out in a press conference, right? Or in an interview post-game. And said maybe the plays that was drawn up need to be better in these situations. Now, I don't mind the option route, but dog it, don't allow all 4 wideouts to do it or 3 wideouts. Have one particular guy to do one option route, and you can draw up plays for said wide receiver. But what he's doing is what you've been preaching last year about the negative connotations that there is really no dog in his offense, that everybody is treated equal, right? Yeah. Everybody's the number 1. Everybody's the number 2. Everybody's the number 3. Bull sugar, you only need one number 1 and everybody else to play off of that. Right. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and honestly, I would want Kellen to get rid of option routes. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't know in what world, and I'm just being honest, where your boss says publicly, I've never been a fan of option routes.
Right.
And by week 8 and 9, we still running what your boss said he don't. In what world can I fire my boss.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys world, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to rain on the parade when we're 10-3, ladies and gentlemen. But if you go back to my my Twitter page, I retweeted something, and I want you to look at that,
Okay.
and that will also increase the notion that we should be doing something. And it should be at the top of my page. Let me know when you see it. Yes,
I got it. You know I got it, big dog. I got you, man. Hey, listen, boy, me and Law in
shout out to
sync
my
today.
guy, man. Shout
Me
out
and
to
Law
my guy
in
who sent me
sync.
this. Shout out to my guy who sent me. I'm giving him credit for his Ill Machine. He sent me this, and in his caption, he said, furthermore, that this should be the reason why they should run the ball, because if you look at the pass block win rate, we are at the bottom half. You see where the Colts and the Jaguars are at?
Yep.
We are right there with that win rate, meaning that our pass blocking is not sufficient, meaning that you're going to have some illogical reads, right? Rush reads. And on top of that, you're trying to do a system that's complicated, meaning that you got to have your wide out to do those option routes and pivot, whereas the ball can't come out quick and it's harder to throw with anticipation. And you get these type of hiccups as it relates to this offense, especially with your quarterback. Now, although I'm quite sure any other quarterback that's not Dak Prescott is the reason why you would see where this offense should be ranked, right?
Yeah, right.
From a passing category. When we had Cooper Rush out there, we was ranked 26, 27 in the National Football League. Now, all of a sudden, we rank number 1. But I can tell you that if you pick Dak Prescott up and you move him on another team, and it was consistently just with Cooper Rush, we'll be in the bottom half of the league.
Facts.
Because of this type of principles.
Facts. Yeah, man. And another reason why, to add to this, and that's a great illustration, it made no sense, in my opinion, man, to be going against cover 2 and not running the ball.
Right.
You know, it's come on, man. Like, God dog, you got your soft box. You had everything you wanted, Kellen. But listen, and I want to go back and kind of explain a little bit, because
break it down, man.
Some Cowboy fans, I really want to understand that we doing this out of love. We talking about this because we see this as something that could be a hindrance to the championship. All of us want the championship, so it's not about beating up Kellen. Only thing we want Kellen to do is align to his head coach.
Right.
That's all. You know, if he aligns
Right.
to his head coach, I'm cool with Kellen. I had no problem with Kellen, but Kellen is not aligning. He's not. Just keeping it real. So as long as he's not aligning, there is no way we could be loyal to the Cowboys and be quiet about Kellen Moore. You can't do it. The only way you can be loyal is you got to call out the person that's in the way of the ring, and he's in the way of the ring. And I am glad, to your point, that Dak said a little something about the play call.
I wish you had the audio, man.
I can pull it. You know I can pull it, man. You would have to stall for me.
Yeah, so people can understand what we're saying about this.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
It was a small call out. He just was like, it was the play call. And then another sign, to your point, that there's starting to be some anger about Kellen not running the ball. Dak on the final play to Zeke said to his offensive line, "We finna run Zeke." Well, why you say it like that? So I think it's starting to be some pushback. I really do. I think it's starting to be some pushback against Kellen, and the timing is right. You know, because one more thing I want to say, Law. I want to get your thoughts on this, because it's not right for Dak to say publicly that he willing to take less and to throw it less, right? Zeke and Pollard willing to say that we both should be getting more, but we go split these carries, which affects their money. Now,
It
everybody being unselfish, but Kellen. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, Kellen might be looking at this, man, beyond this season, the 2022 season.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I'm looking for food to feed for my kids. I'm
Yeah.
looking for opportunity so that when I present my resume, that it can present itself to say number one in offense, number one in, total yards, man. Because think about it. Just because you coaching in this league and you're the offensive coordinator, on the resume, it doesn't mean that you got to win a Super Bowl or multiple playoffs, right? I mean, Mike McDaniel got him a big-time job. And then the dude that coached for the Vikings, and, of course, I know he was on a team that just won a Super Bowl. But if you look all around the league, you'll see young coaches like the coach Matt LaFleur and Brian Daboll and all of those boys. These are a young man's league, and I'm quite sure he's saying, hey, what about me? I'm just as good as those boys.
Right.
I'm just as good as Josh McDaniels. I'm just as good as Mike McDaniel and all of those boys. So give me an opportunity. I can present to the table. Look, we're the number one team in offense, and I've been here since 2019. The only time that we finished top 15 was in the pandemic year when my quarterback went down. But look at my resume. I finished top 10 in offense every year when I had a healthy quarterback. So give me an opportunity to showcase my talent, and that's what he's doing. And the good thing that gave me this notion to that was from you and Coach Marv. You had an excerpt that was on your Twitter page about Teddy Bruschi, who said that as long as this guy trying to fill in those stats, it would be the downfall of the Cowboys. And we can clearly say it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, I know people right now that's coaching little league, middle school, and high school know that you're supposed to run on cover two. Cover two is a pass defense, meaning that, look, let's just do the math. The max you're going to have in cover two is 6 in the side, right? The linebacker got the responsibility to drop into the hook. The two other linebackers, they got to control the flats, but they can't resort there until the ball is snapped. So when you playing cover two, you're supposed to run the ball. That should be the easiest 6 yards you can get off the edge. And we don't even attack that. We say, you know what? We're going to drop back on a 5-step drop for a play for option route.
Man, it's crazy.
Come on, man.
It's crazy. And so this is the cool thing. Teddy talked about that this week. We talked about on the final word that Kellen Moore looks as if he's play calling for a job. And this is the main reason it's not hard to make that assumption. It's because you see too many times his play design or his game design is against common sense. So, like, for instance, the Green Bay was ranked 26 versus the run.
Right.
He threw it 39 times. No, 46 times.
40 sometimes,
Yeah, 40 sometimes. It was crazy.
Now, with the league in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they was
14,
ranked 10th. Houston was ranked as a bottom team versus the run. And he came out and threw it 39 times and 23 times in the first half. So how do you go against common sense? Like, so it's like, why are you doing this? Like, there's nothing that matches common sense in your game design versus the opponent. Like, if I know that you strong against the pass and weak against the run, and we strong running the ball, I'm finna run it down your throat. It's strength on weakness, Kellen. Yeah. So this super chat said, Joe Cook, he said, feed and speed. We can't salute one with the other. How did Zeke have a better game than TP? Kellen pulled a 49ers on us by not giving the ball to TP and CD in the second half. All right, yeah, man. So I know we beat up on Kelly, man. We really didn't.
Yeah, we
expect
beating
it
up on that kid bad too, man.
Yeah. And yeah, somebody say boss almost up to 5K subs. I think I'm about 4 subs away. I'm gonna hit 5,000 by the end of this show. So I appreciate
Come on,
it, man.
y'all hit that like
Yeah,
and
we gonna
share
hit
this
that,
thing
man.
and subscribe to Boss Cowboys.
Yeah, we gonna hit
man.
that by the end of the show. I promise. I'm 4 subs away from 5,000. Appreciate y'all. Real quick, Law. Turning the page on Kellen Moore, if you don't mind. You also brought up something else. We was talking before the show. You said you wanted me to put it in the show.
Well, I have multiple people hitting me up saying, yeah, Anthony Brown is the second best DB on this team. And I get what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, you got to understand that you got to allow this other kid, Kelvin Joseph, to go through growing pains. And just to keep this in mind, 5 targets, 4 catches allowed, 69 yards allowed with 1 pass breakup. And one can argue that the yards that was allowed, you know what I'm saying, is miscued because the PFF kind of counts some zones, and that was a play that he was defending that one can argue that was an incomplete pass. But that's the story of another day. I just look at Kelvin Joseph as a guy that down the line, you give him more playing time, you will see some of his skill sets exhibit and exude itself.
No doubt. And I want to ask you, Law, real quick, and then the OC, since he in the building, we waiting on Big Game James.
No doubt.
I wanted to kind of lean on y'all for Competition Tuesday, because I usually always do Competition Tuesday, but I said I'm going to save it for the final word. Like, what's your gut feeling on the competition at the corner that's going on right now, Law? And then we go to UOC.
Most certainly. Before I go there, somebody is saying that, well, did we see the game plan? That was the reason why we deviated from the actual game plan of what you need to do as far as the offensive strategy. Well, bull sugar. You don't run those type of options just because it was a fumble or just because it was an interception and such and such. But that's a story of another day, man.
No, you don't get away.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't get away from who you are. Cause see, that's the problem, man. Too many people justify Kellen Moore being cute. He out thinking stuff. It's like we came out and we blew Minnesota out running the ball, and he said, you know what? They might try to stop the run next week, so I'm not gonna do that. How about just stick with who you are? Stick with the identity that y'all been preaching all off season. Y'all been saying, y'all have been telling us we learned from San Fran. Am I lying? We learned from San Fran. we know we want to be a physical team. Because we're going to come back and we're going to face San Fran again. Well, when we go see the physicality, OC?
Listen, man, I'll tell you like this. Kellen Moore came out and threw the ball more than we ran the ball in the first half, and that's what gave us the trouble offensively. We really could have put this team away had we stuck with the script of the first touchdown, but we got away with it. We got gimmicky. We got into some different formations. We got into some bad route combinations, which we'll talk more about later. And, you know, people will try to argue against what we're saying, and I've even heard it on certain syndications and outlets that, hey, you know, we still end up running the ball about 30 times. But yeah, that was in the second half, and that's what caused us to win the game. We're talking about how you start the script of the game. And when you start the script of the game in a pass-happy environment, then we get down. Then we have third down and out. Uh-oh, they scored a touchdown. Uh-oh, they scored 2 touchdowns. Uh-oh, we got a ball game. You know, so when we put teams away with really pinpoint precision is when we coming out, we're committing to the run, and we're committing to that play action pass.
Yeah. And that philosophy right there, DOC, and I love that, what you just said. You run to set the tone, right? You supposed to get back to your identity. You know what? This reminds me of a movie. I like to throw in movies, boss, and the OC. And everybody can relate to this movie. It's called The Lion King. You know, Simba lost his identity. So he ran off into the wilderness, right? And he was helped raised by a pig. and a meerkat, right? But when it was time for him to get back to what he's supposed to do, the monkey showed him a reflection of his father, and his father told him, remember who you are. You are my son, the one true king. And he kept telling him, remember who you are. We need to have some type of voice that can be permeated into the ears of Kellen Moore that can tell him, remember who this team is. This is a running team. And they will be able to be prosperous if you can run the ball. Remember, I wish I could have that sound in his head. So when he thinking about throwing the ball with Dak Prescott over 30 times, that it can just be a switch, a Mufasa voice. Remember who you are. You know what I mean? You need to run the ball, man.
Run the ball, man.
And run with purpose, not just run to say, hey, I ran the ball, because there was a series in a situation that he ran the ball 11 times, but he need to run with purpose. Y'all go ahead, man.
3, 2, 1, drop it. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.
Real quick, I gotta take this comment because I was just getting ready to get off of Kellen Moore, but this comment is so fire. I gotta take this comment. It's fire. He said Jerry wants Mike McCarthy to baby Kellen, but give Kellen most of the rope. Ooh.
Yoga fire. Yoga.
Let's talk about that. So, because I was just finna move off of Kelly till I read that comment. Now check this out.
They said Jerry Jones is Scar.
Oh, he's Scar.
Mike McCarthy needs to be Mufasa, man.
Say, check this out, man. Check this out. Oh, I can't wait to Big get up in here too. But check this out.
See,
just real quick, I'm gonna be quick.
Go ahead.
So, if you notice, it's coaches that are pass happy now as head coaches, but was submitted as OCs. So, if you look at Miami, right, what are they doing right now? Bums away. But what was their head coach doing under Shanahan?
Run. That's how he got his job. Run coordinator.
Thank you, Law. Cause see, Law, you just stole my point. You thief. Where's that button? Thief. Please tell me.
I got you.
Please tell me you got that button. Thief.
Stop, thief. Come back, thief.
You stole my point. So, Kellen, if you want a job, if you want to be a head coach, do what he did. Because, see, you was sitting in the final seat with him. Why did they pick him over you? You had the #1 offense last year, but they picked him. You know why? Because running the ball won in the playoffs with San Fran. So everything you want is going to be about winning, not about stats. You should have learned that already.
Man, listen, and here's the point that people really don't get. You know, all of the naysayers that say we're Kellen haters and this, that, and the third, we're really trying to help Kellen. Kellen, I'm trying to get you a head coaching job. I'm trying to teach you what you need to do so that you can be highly regarded when you have head coach openings. I'm teaching you how to be a responsible play caller. That's all we're trying to do here. Because at the end of the day, man, when you stick to ball control and time of possession, the Cowboys are undefeated. And Kellen Moore is smart enough to look at these stats. Kellen Moore is smart enough to look at the data and understand. And listen, this bodes to something that me and you discussed offline, Boss Cowboy, and I hope you have the clip. I pray you have the clip. What did Teddy Bruschi say? What did Ted see? You made me be messy. I didn't want to be messy. What did Teddy Bruschi say?
He said he calling plays like he trying to get a job.
Say that again.
He calling plays like he trying to get a head coaching job. And we said that 3 weeks ago.
Yes, sir, we did. Yes, sir, we did. So there's an old saying, less is more. A lot of times you're trying to be impressive, and the more you try to be impressive, you make yourself less impressive. And that's what Kellen Moore is doing, because now there is becoming a nice swell in the community. Well, Kellen Moore will damage us. Kellen Moore will hurt us because of what he's doing. So, more and more people are catching on to what we've been saying. If you just look at the data and you look at the games, and all Kellen Moore has to do is stick with the script. And if he sticks with the script and also help your quarterback, you see, and I'm not letting Dak off the hook, because there's two elements to this, right, in terms of turn, because this is something about. You have the play call, but then you have the quarterback that's making a decision to throw the ball. So it's a two-way street. But as an offensive coordinator, you can help your quarterback. When John Kitna was the quarterback coach, and we had play ass. Oh, sorry. Am I back?
You good? I mean, you was with fire too. Go ahead.
Man, you was going crazy.
Okay. So I'm saying this, and I'll be done. Yeah. That when John Kitna was the quarterback coach, and when we had Dak operating to me at his best, Dak was precise on the routes. It was clean reads. It was good play action pass. And now you have a jumbled up pass game, and with some of the route combinations, with it not being enough spacing in terms of how you construct the routes, especially on two-man routes, which can make you susceptible to throwing interceptions or trying to force the ball into too tight of windows on a consistent basis. And I think that's a part of the problem that we're seeing with Dak Prescott right now, is that help him out with some of the play calls too, Kellen.
All right, we got 2 fat super chats. So real quick, just to catch them up real quick. He said Joseph did exactly what I expected. He got better as the game went on. Bland and Joseph are going to continue to grow as they get reps. Yeah, and I agree with that. And then William said Kellen is basically our head coach, just without the name title. He believes he's either over Will McClay or that level at this point in ownership eyes. All right, man, let me get off of Kelly because I'm getting depressed.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He's been here for a minute, too, and he was thrusted the position of being the offensive coordinator. We got a lot of purchasing power when you are the offensive coordinator. It's a sexier title than also being a special teams coach, and one can argue defensive coach. So it is what it is. But if he plays his cards right, from what I've checked on, Noel Turner got a head coaching job, right? From the 90s, Dave Wanstead, right? Got a head coaching opportunity, which he was a defensive guy. So we get all of that, but he just got to be patient. His time will come, but don't rush it. Stay focused. And this is my last touch on Kellen Moore. If we go back and look at how we won, I guarantee you we didn't lose this year when Ezekiel Elliott had 15 or more touches, right? Yeah. We undefeated this year. I had a chart line that says such, right? And if you guys believe it or not, we are undefeated going and dating back all the way to last year. So that put us right in the realms of 17-0 when we have these type of touches with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. So let's continue to do those things.
I agree, Lau.
And I'm going to say one last thing, boss. I'm sorry. I got to get this out of my heart. All right? Then we can move on. I got to get this out of my heart.
Okay.
Because, listen, look, here's the thing, man. Kellen Moore is the result of bad parenting. Okay, and this is what happens. This is the adage of if you have a spoiled child and they begin to make really bad decisions and you begin to try to discipline them when they're 16 years old, it doesn't work. You have to discipline a child early. However you do that, whether you believe in spankings or timeout or whatever the case might be. And Kellen Moore was given the keys to the kingdom, planted as a Trojan horse prematurely, being the only holdover when Mike McCarthy was hired, and put in thinking that they were being smart, but they were being unwise by undercutting the authority of the new head coach by forcing Kellen Moore to be the holdover, thus giving him entitlement rights and spoiled privileges. And now when you want to reel him back in, it is extremely difficult to do so.
I got to give an example on that. I'm so sorry. I thought we was finished, but I got to give an example on that.
It was in my soul. I'm sorry.
Man, I was working in corporate America, bro. And I had a boss where my boss and I was responsible for hiring my people. Okay. And he didn't want this particular sales rep at first that I chose because he wanted the ones that came from the University of Houston. I picked this girl up from a car dealership, right? So I got her skills up. She was flossing. She was killing the game. She was doing her thing. To the point, my boss offered her the job while she was working under me. What you think happened? What you think happened when she knew that she was the next sales rep in line? She stopped working.
What you said don't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying?
You right, Law. What I said
right.
didn't matter anymore because she knew she already had the job. So guess what I had to do to get my authority back? I went to my boss. I said, "Hey, boss, you got quotas that you not go hit." He said, "What you mean?" I say, "Man, you offered her the job." I say, "She ain't got no incentive to work hard for me no more." He said, "Oh." I said, "Yeah." I said, "So, boss, I'm not telling you how to do your job, but she need to know, and everybody else need to know that their job depends on how they work while they're under me." And he was like, "Let's have a meeting." And we went right in there, put all my sales reps together. He was talking at her, but he was acting like he was talking to everybody. You know what I mean? And it gave me my authority back. It's what the OC talking about. So Mike McCarthy authority was cut, which made him powerless. And that's why we seeing this kid behavior that we seeing with Kellen Moore. Super Chat said, backup starter, backup QB coach. Every job Kellen Moore has gotten, he has applied for, just given. Ooh.
Yes, indeed.
Because he's smart.
And here's what we gonna say, just to put a little lipstick on this pig, just
Let's
a little
do
bit. He's not a terrible guy. You know, we see some greatness out of him, but it's when you apply those greatness, and we do see him overstepping the authorities. Why? Just like what you just mentioned, boss, and the OC. The head person in charge literally said he don't like option routes.
He said,
"I don't think that."
I'm not a fan of option routes.
In the West Coast, yeah, that's what he said. In the West Coast offense, you really don't have many of option routes because it's about using your short areas and using quick passes, and is also disguising your runs to make everything look uniform, right? That's my ideology of West Coast offense, where everything looks the same. You can run out of that package, you can throw out of that package. You got predetermined reads that you're going to have to hit those targets, regardless of what the opposing team is doing. It's the opposing team bending to what you do versus you bending to what they do. Right. It's that type of stuff. It's bam, 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 right? Yeah. So my thing is, if the head coach already came out and said earlier this year he don't like it, well, why in the hell are you still doing it?
Bro.
Because I can do whatever I want. My name is Kellen Moore, and I am the golden child. And it don't matter what none of y'all say. I'm going to come out here, I'm going to throw it 40 times, and oh, God, we better not play a team that's less than 500 because I'm going to throw it 50 times. And I'm going to patent that, and I'm going to add this to my resume because I had that to throw for 4,000 yards. And it's going to make me look real good. And then even last year, I'm going to run out on the field when we lost a game to the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to give a bear hug to Cliff Kingsbury. You know why? Because we the young hot shot. And we want to look real good. And I'm going to make sure that my name is in the spotlight because I got to rub some elbows. And I got to get this $25 million job at all costs.
Oh, you just cracked it.
The OC.
God,
yes.
No emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
Boy, that OC went crazy. God, dog.
You know what's about to happen, boss?
What's that?
And the OC, it just hit me. Kellen Moore may be the new head coach of the Cards. if you really contextualize, I think Cliff, he gonna do a solid by the organization and franchise, and he's gonna go to college somewhere. He gonna go over there and probably put his name in the hat for Stanford if Jason Garrett don't get it right. He's gonna go off to college, and Kellen Moore is gonna scoop right into Arizona. You gonna have a good quarterback. You're going to have a guy like a D-Hop. You're going to have all of those wide receivers. That's going to happen. Watch.
Hey, and this, I'm trying to get off Kellen Moore because trust me, I got some good stuff to talk about other than Kellen Moore.
Let's get off
y'all
Kellen
keep
Moore,
pulling me back in, bro.
But he's going to be the head coach of the Cards, man.
God, dog. I hope you're right, bro.
Yep, after we win the Super Bowl this year.
I promise, unless they pull me back in, this is the last thing I'm going to say about Kellen Moore. I don't understand our reporters neither. I don't get it. Because he said Kellen Moore don't even have to worry the reporters asking him hard questions. I can't figure that out myself. I can't figure out how he can just fully abandon the identity of the head coach where he clearly said running the ball is our winning formula. Watch him get pass happy. He walks in the press conference and they just throw softballs at him. I just be like, what? Wait, can y'all treat him like he Dak, please? Cause see, when it's Dak, oh, y'all just where my gunshot? Boy, I swear, y'all. But when it's Dak, but when it's Kellen, they
emotional damage.
Man, so here we go. I'm finally getting off Kellen.
Yeah, let's get off Kellen Moore.
Yeah, man.
More for president, baby.
Man, please, man. He'll sink the country. All right, here we go. All right, let me pull up. I got some good juice. Let's get into some good news, if y'all don't mind. Let's talk about Jerry Jones' interview today. Jerry, here we go.
Jerry, you guys made some news yesterday with the acquisition of T.Y. Hilton. Why did you guys decide to sign T.Y.?
Well, of course, I've always admired him as the player he was there at Indianapolis, and knew that he was picking his team, so to speak, seriously. He had a lot of interest out there. We knew it. We've known it. And he, of course, was interested in what we're doing and what we're doing at this time. And so it was an opportunity for us. We took it, and he can really help us out. He's really one of the smartest receivers that I can remember. Kelvin Martin was such an influence when I first came with the Cowboys. And I've heard Michael Irvin give Kelvin Martin such credit for a lot of the things that happened in his career. But the thing that always stood out about Kelvin Martin was how smart he played the game. And T.Y. has some of those characteristics and got a lot of speed, runs really well, and, of course, is ready to go.
Is that what you're looking for physically, Jerry, in terms of the skill set, that burner to be a deep threat down the field? Is that his best attribute?
Well, we've got a lot of position flex with him, but I would say that he's got that step, but he also brings a ton of experience. That's big, real big, because we'll want him to step in immediately, and these guys that have played a lot of football in the NFL have a good chance of doing that. He's seen the kinds of routes that we're going to run. He has seen them time and time again in the NFL, and there at Indianapolis. So I think he's a real pickup for us that will, frankly, hit the ground running and immediately give us some help.
Why?
I'm going to pause it for a second.
Okay. I thought you were going to play that last little clip.
I can.
But go ahead.
I'll go.
Did you feel he was a need? Did you think and see that the rest of the wide receiving core was lacking a little bit?
Well, no. The real, for his availability, has a lot to do with it. But I think that we have continued to look for a speed element, being able to have a player that can give those secondaries something else to think about out there as our core base of receivers are basically doing their thing, and he does that. He's a receiver that the defense will have to honor, and when he does, he'll make it better for Wilson. He'll make it, not Wilson, but Brown, and he'll make it better for, of course, with Lamb. And so I'm glad. I'm glad's not the word part. I'm excited the fact that he's available.
We're talking with Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones here on 105 Through the Fan. Jerry,
okay, hold on real quick.
Does this take you guys out of the running for Odell Beckham Jr. at least until the spring?
Of course, we wouldn't have been interested in Odell had he not had the kind of talent that certainly can last to the spring, so to speak. But I think it's fair to say that he's an outstanding receiver. He's, as you well know, he's not ready to play today. That's important, and but he will be ready come spring, and he's a receiver that I think would fit any team, and so I want to easily say there's going to be continued interest in Odell.
But is it safe to say he won't be on this year's version of the Dallas Cowboys?
No, I wouldn't go that far if you'll include the playoffs.
All right, let's talk. All right, that's okay. Here we go. Now, there's a lot that came out right there. So we'll kick it off.
All right, so I'm gonna have to go all the way back to what he said by T.Y. Now, I'm not dogging T.Y. I like the fact that they do got him, by the way. But what I said earlier today is that this is literally hustling backwards, because we like what we've seen out of Lamb's growth, and we understand that Michael Gallup always was that third down catch machine, but he was still inconsistent a lot. And I'm talking about Gallup, right? But Lamb was a guy that developed, and he's on his way. But by him saying bring it in T.Y. would help elevate and alleviate some of the difficulties from the other wide receivers. That's what we've been arguing all year. Bring in a veteran wide receiver to help alleviate some of the pressure so that Lamb can be who he is. And you got rid of Amari Cooper so that we can go around all of this to almost coming to around to pay Brandon Cooks the same thing what you was about to pay Amari Cooper. It's just that the ink ran out of the pen ran out of ink right before the trade deadline hit. And of course, we tried to put in some situations for Jerry Jeudy. I wouldn't have got mad at that one, but we've been talking about Odell Beckham for the last 4 to 5 weeks now. When we cut our legs off from under us by getting rid of Amari Cooper. Now we bringing in a guy that's 33 years of age, right, who haven't been playing for the majority of this season, to come in to be the Band-Aid that's over this bullet wound is what we are talking about now. This could have all been alleviated. And look, of course, we wanted James Washington to stand tall. But when he got hit by Jalen Patriot, he said, oh, I'm going to drop the ball. And my foot hurt. Let me go sit on to the bench over here. You know what I mean? We've been waiting all year for James Washington, for him to try to catch the ball and say, "Owie," and my foot hurt. So now let me go back to the bench. So now the Cowboys need to figure out this, and I hope that T.Y. can come and bring an excitement level to us, but this is us literally hustling backwards.
This is so hustling backwards. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, look, T.Y. Hilton does bring an element of explosiveness and experience to this team that can be extremely helpful, in my opinion. And I think that what he will enable us to do is to draw some of the one-on-one coverages with Gallup and with CeeDee Lamb. So he should be a big benefit. And as he gets his feet wet in this offense, really he should take reps from Noah Brown, being the top third receiver, and maybe sometime the 2 receiver, depending upon how the defense rolls coverage. So I think he's a really good pickup. And I think he's healthy, as Jerry Jones indicated. He's running fast. He still has some speed. He might not be a 4.35, but he's at least a low 4.4 still. And that's going to bode well for the Cowboys as an additional weapon heading to these playoffs. So I like the signing. I think it's a great pickup.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I also like the Bill McClay, just keeping it real, because when